In today's video, we're going to be decking out my house in Christmas decor crafts that I've been seeing all over social media. And while they all look so beautiful and so easy to make, sometimes looks can be deceiving. And before you know it, you're elbow deep in glue, you've spent 3 hours working on the same craft that probably would have costed you a shekel to buy. So today we'll be making dried orange garlands, clay ornaments from scratch, frosting our own decor, turning books into ornaments, and making our own Christmas tree skirt out of trash. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to narrow down which crafts you actually want to try this season and which ones that are just not worth your time. Starting off our craft extravaganza, we're going to be dehydrating some oranges to make a dried orange garland. I first saw this from the K Wendy home on Instagram, but after saving her video, every other reel that popped up were also dehydrated orange garlands. So I think it's very in this year in particular. All you need to do is thinly slice your oranges and pop them in the oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for about 1 hour. But the time and temperature may vary on your oven and your orange slice thickness. Sounds easy enough, right? Yeah, no, I could not slice these oranges into thin, even slices for the life of me. I don't know why it's so hard, but do not underestimate the skill level it requires to create these thin, even slices. The oranges turned out absolutely so adorable, especially if you hold them up to a light source. Something about it, it's just so magical. I did try to use the dehydrate function on my little this guy right here, and I do think these look the most like an orange still, but it does take a super long time if you're gonna use that function on this machine. So unless you have a lot of time and a lot of space in your actual dehydrator, I actually kind of like this toasty, a little bit burnt baked version of the orange slices a little bit more. I think it adds a little bit of caramelization, a little bit more color and dimension into the orange slices versus just a dehydrated one. But I think they're both adorable. One thing I will say though is in order to make enough for a garland, you're gonna need a lot of oranges. The amount that I have here, which isn't very many, is 2.5 oranges already. And for not having a lot of space to dry them, it actually took all day to dry these little orange slices. So as adorable as they are, I do think this project might be one that you accumulate over the years, or if you have a citrus tree and you have more citrus fruits than you know what to do with, this is a really great idea to preserve them and use them as decor, because then they'll last a few years after this. But if you saw the really pretty orange garlands online and you wanted to make them yourselves and go out and buy the oranges, you're gonna need quite a few oranges. You're gonna need a Costco amount of oranges, and hopefully you guys have a working oven that you can bake more than 4 slices at a time, unlike me. You'll know when your orange is done and fully dehydrated when there's no more moisture when you squeeze your slice of orange and it's no longer sticky. Mine came out all over the place, and I'm 99% sure not a single one of my oranges were fully dehydrated at this point. For this next craft, I've actually had this saved for many years, so I'm very excited to be able to do this with you guys today, but it is making our own clay ornaments. The recipe I'm using is from Tips from a Typical Mom blog, and all you need is 1/2 cup of cornstarch, 1 cup of baking soda, and 3/4 of a cup of water. In a medium-sized pot, combine the cornstarch, baking soda, and water, and stir over medium heat. After a few minutes, the mixture should begin to thicken, and when it looks like smooth mashed potatoes, remove the pot from the heat. Spoon the ball of dough into a bowl and cover it with a damp cloth or plastic wrap until it's cool. For these little ornaments, I wanted to make little stars that we can string up along with our dehydrated oranges, and I also wanted to make an ornament with a paw print of my cat just to have for myself and to gift to my brother. instead of baking these like the recipe said to, since my little oven was busy dehydrating all the oranges yesterday, I did let these air dry overnight, and I do think they turned out like pretty hard, and I think they turned out so great. They're absolutely adorable. I did sprinkle some cinnamon into half the batch, and I left the other half just plain white. At first, initially, I did really like the cinnamon swirl. I love the smell of it as I was making these ornaments, and I thought I liked it a lot more than it just being plain white. But after it's dried, the cinnamon just kind of looks like little speckles of brown. It's not as dark as it initially was before it dried, and the white ones actually have like a really nice clean look to them that I do really like. The white ones just look, I don't know, so perfect. It makes me want to like eat them, but I won't. So I did make a few stars, and I made a few Abby footprints. I think these are so cute. They didn't show up as well as I thought it would, so perhaps I needed to put a little more pressure on her paw when I made these, but in certain lighting, it's like the essence of her paw print, and it is really cute still. And I also made some little snowflakes just to mix it up a little bit. Now, I think I'm gonna add a little bit of puff paint on these to make them just a little cuter, like have a little bit of design on these snowflakes and maybe some of the stars. So let's do that. I got these puffy paints from Walmart, and I'm gonna use a white one and a silver glitter to decorate the snowflakes just because I want them to stay white still. I don't want to add too much color to them. While I do love doing crafts, I am not an artistic person. Like, my art skills are not good. Well, that turned out hideous. Should I wipe it off? Moving right along, we're not gonna do this. With our little dried oranges and little stars, I'm thinking of stringing them up with like a little bit of fishing wire, just because I kind of want it to be see-through and like twinkling, you know? And I'm gonna hang them up on our doorway on like a garland thing in a little bit. Everything's so see-through, I already can't see anything. I really wanted like a gold tinsel-y string to tie these up. I couldn't find any, so this will have to do. Hello? Is this not the cutest thing in the world? This is adorable! Oh my goodness! But I've got a little garland! And we've got so many more to string up. After we're done making all of the individual crafts, we'll assemble it together and I'll show you guys the final result. Up next, we're gonna be frosting our own decor using water and borax. I saw this from Blossom and Branch Farm on Instagram, and essentially you need 4 cups of hot water to 1.5 cups of borax, and you can make however much you need of that solution, and you soak whatever you want to frost for about an hour. After you remove it from the solution and it dries, you have some beautifully crystallized decor that's also biodegradable. If you are able to submerge the pine cone completely, it actually looks a little bit better because the entire thing is kind of frosted. It looks like it's been snowing outside, and it's very pretty. However, if you can't get it completely submerged, it still looks really nice because it looks like it's been laying here and it's been snowing. So one side is frosted and the other side is not. I've also noticed that if the pine cone touches the bottom of the solution where the borax doesn't really fully dissolve, or I found that I wasn't able to dissolve all of the borax in the solution, it does collect these little like borax crystallized chunks, and it looks like there's just a bigger chunk of snow on the pine cone, and it's also really pretty. It just depends on what type of look you're going for. Like this guy looks like he's been in the snow, but it's also kind of nice. It's a little bit dirty looking snow because of the pine cones. This could just be my pine cones. They've been sitting just out in the garage for the past like 2 years, so it could just be like extra dirty. But yeah, be aware, sometimes the snow could look a little brown. I also did tie up some of the pine cones with a piece of twine to dip it in the borax solution, and I think the only thing that does is that it's easier to remove. However, the twine got crystallized as well, and now I'm like kind of unable to take it off. Like, I probably could, but I don't want to flake off any of the borax because it already comes off so easily. So I'm gonna leave the twine on some of the pine cones and just decorate with it in there. And since the solution does flake off super easily, I am just gonna put it in a hurricane because I don't want to deal with the mess and like the potential of my cat going and sniffing and eating the borax off the floor. She doesn't really do that, but just in case, since I saw on social media that some humans have been eating borax, don't do that. I'm just gonna keep it contained. This next project is one of the many paper ornament crafts that I saw this year, but this one seemed to be the easiest while also still having a wow factor when it's done. And the account I saw this from is Affordable Style Gal, also on Instagram. Look how adorable these turn out to be, and they're actually not very hard to make at all. And it's a perfect use for this book that I bought a while back that I got from a used bookstore, and it was just a little too woo-woo for me, and when I tried to bring it back to the used bookstore, they wouldn't take it. So this is perfect. This is the perfect use for it. Also, if you guys have like an X-Acto knife, I think this would be perfect time to use it. Essentially, in order to make one star, you're gonna cut out 5 little pages. Next, you're gonna fold this into a square or a diagonal to cut your page into a square. Now that we have our little square diamond thing, we're going to fold these two guys towards the center. And then you're going to fold the bottom up to the middle. And of course, you can just watch the Instagram reel, but it goes so fast and I cannot for the life of me figure out how to pause an Instagram reel. Are you able to pause an Instagram reel? If you are, please let me know how, because I was just letting this play on a loop until I was able to figure out what was going on. Now you're gonna fold the 2 bottom parts up, like so. And you're just gonna add a little bit of glue to this bottom part right here. And you're gonna let that dry for a second. You can even let it dry this way. You're gonna need to have it in this shape in a little bit. Once you have 5 of these little guys, you're going to kind of push them this way and add some glue right here. And glue them like this. And once you've got them all glued together, you're gonna open them up and you're gonna glue the last side together. It's like a giant cootie catcher, and I love it. This next one is also an ornament made from an old book. Of course, you could use like colored paper as well, but since I had this book that I wasn't gonna read again anyway, I also love the look of like these book pages turned into ornaments. It just looks and feels so whimsical. And the tutorial I followed for this one is from Skripnik Katya. Originally, I wanted to make so many of these and hang them around in different sizes because they looked really like elaborate, and elaborate they are, because cutting out this many took me an hour and a half last night. So instead of making one and then doing another one on camera, I just stopped where I was and saved essentially 2 more of these pages to cut out with you guys and then assemble it together, because there's no way I'm making another one of this, not even one more. I am not making a single one more of these because it is so time consuming. I'd rather make more of those little stars. So let's do this. All you're gonna do is fold your paper hot dog length. And then I just freehanded this little guy yesterday, kind of matching what the creator did. And I'm just gonna line it up. And what would make this a whole lot easier is if you could either trace this or you can like paper clip this together and then cut, but I'm just gonna go for it because I'm a little lazy. And then you have this. And then you do this 24 more times. Now you take your template and mark out 4 lines numbered 1 and 2 and add the glue to the lines numbered 1 on the inside of each folded sheet. And repeat for every folded sheet you have. Last one, finally. Oh wait, just kidding. Now we have to glue some more. After you've glued all the half sheets together, add glue to the lines marked 2 and glue the folded sheets together. Repeat until all of the folded sheets are glued together. As it dries, prepare the string or ribbon you're going to use to hang up this ornament. Now add glue to the line 2s one more time and add the string to the center as best you can. Open up the ornament to glue the remaining sides together.
What the hell is this? Shouldn't it be glued up here too?
Yeah, after making this actual ornament, I then started to see so many more reels creating similar ornaments or similar shaped ornaments out of paper, and all of them also glue that very top part. So if you're going to make this, be sure to add glue to the top as well when gluing the folded sheets together. This is a good concept. I think it's absolutely adorable. I just don't think it's very realistic, especially for how long it takes to make. And now, like, how are you gonna dry this? Like, do you have to hold it together like this? That kind of made me sad because it took so long. I actually saved so many more crafts that I wanted to do, such as making a little snowflake out of old toilet paper and paper towel rolls. But after that last one, I was completely over all crafts. I was over it. I was done gluing paper together to make little snowflakes and ornaments. That one broke me. So now I have all these leftover rolls and they're just gonna go straight into recycling because I'm done doing crafts. Except this next one that I had my heart set on for a little while, and it's making my very own Christmas tree skirt. So all I used for this Christmas tree skirt is some old boxes that I had lying around the house and some hemp rope and sisal rope that we had laying around that we had every intention of using to make a new cat scratching post for our cat, and we just never got around to it. All you do is make the desired shape that you want out of the cardboard box and start gluing this rope to the box with a hot glue gun in whatever design and shape that you'd like. There's nothing you can't do if you've got a hot glue gun and a little bit of trash. I was happily working away until I realized this was taking so dang long. I should have just spent the $40 to buy the Christmas tree skirt 3 years ago. After about 2-ish hours, I was about halfway done and I've decided to call it quits, and perhaps I'll finish this project next year. Okay, hear me out. It actually doesn't look that bad in person. The camera is definitely picking up a lot of the packaging tape that's reflecting off of this tree skirt, but with the naked eye, when just walking past, looking at the Christmas tree, it's really not that bad. I can't really tell that it's a cardboard box underneath the tree, and the little design with the sisal rope actually looks pretty cool. I actually quite like the way it looks right now, even though it's unfinished. It's kind of nice. Now that we've completed making all of our crafts, let's assemble them using another hack I saw on social media. This one I first saw also from the K Wendy home, but I'm not sure if she's like the original creator of this hack. But essentially you use a tension rod or like a shower curtain rod to hang your garland on, and then you put it up on your archways or entryways, and that way you don't have to worry about nailing things to the wall or taping things to the wall and having your decor inevitably fall down throughout the season. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by how nice and whimsical this entryway looks with the dried oranges and the little clay stars. I'm very pleasantly surprised that all of these crafts came together and made for a beautiful little garland. Now you may be thinking, Iris, are you wearing the same outfit as yesterday? And the answer is no. My socks are different. I bet a lot of people know this trick already, but this has changed the way my Christmas trees have looked. Instead of wrapping your lights around the Christmas tree like in a circle, you can wrap them vertically, and that way the lights look really organic on the tree, and it's way more lights per square footage of tree, and that way you can not wrap the back where no one will see it anyway. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. I have so many more fun videos coming out for you guys soon. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I will see you next time. Bye!